Virtual Tramily. Hope you guys are doing well. I wanted to give you a quick update on what has been going on. I just left Newfound Gap about 6:45 this morning, so I've been hiking for just not even an hour yet, and so far so good. But when I got to Newfound Gap, which was 2 days ago, I ran into an old friend of mine, Warren Doyle. If you've read any hiker AT books, you'll know that he is a legend out here. He's hiked the trail 18 times, thru-hiked it 18 times, and he is just, he's like an AT encyclopedia. So he is a wealth of information, and but I ran into him at Newfound Gap when I got there, and he had a place and offered for me to stay in one of his rooms. So I took the opportunity and got off the trail. I hiked a pretty good amount that day, but then I took a 0 day yesterday, which was my first one, and it was great because it rained all day and I was able to stay inside and stay warm and get everything clean and dry and eat some good food, which was fun. And now I'm back on the trail today. So that was an unplanned surprise, but a great one. And I was happy to see him and catch up and pick his brain more about the AT, as always. I love doing that. And but now back on the trail. It's a beautiful day. Got to watch the sunrise, and I'm hoping to do a pretty big day to get to Cosby Knob Shelter tonight, and that's like I think 23.4 miles. So that's why I got an early start and going to do that. It's been pretty cold up here in the Smokies, so my plan is to get to a little bit a lower elevation so that I can stay a little bit warmer. But since I've been sleeping so warm in my sleeping bag, my down sleeping bag with my new strategy, I ended up sending home my synthetic one. So I just mailed while I was in Gatlinburg, which I had never been to before. That's a cool place to visit, especially with a family. If you ever want to go on a family vacation, that's a big tourist area. I ended up getting a box and sending a few things home. Not too much, but mainly my sleeping bag and just a couple other tiny little knick-knack stuff I had in my pack. So 3.5 pounds lighter from that sleeping bag, and I still have my down sleeping bag, so hopefully that will be sufficient. I think it will be. And fully loaded with food for the next 5 days. So I plan to skip Standing Bear and go right on into Hot Springs. That will be my next stop. So moving right along, happy that it's dry, happy that the trail is not flooded, and able to enjoy this section of the Smoky Mountains. So that's what's going on. That's the plan. Virtual Tramily, hope you guys are doing well. I am just about to leave the Smokies, so I wanted to make a quick video and explain a couple things that have been going through my mind, and in hopes that they can help you. So 2 things. First of all is my energy level has been pretty good and consistent, and I don't claim to have all the answers or the right way to do things or not, but I just wanted to share with you what has been working well for me, and I believe that is caffeine and the lack of it. So 10 months ago, I gave up caffeine for good, and it has really significantly helped. And as you know, you can't have a coffee pot out here, but a lot of people use instant coffee, the little packets that you can mix with water, and they get their caffeine fix that way, which in 2018 I did the same thing, and that's been great. And I was curious to see how it would be different doing it this way without caffeine as opposed to having caffeine. And I would like to report that it seems a lot easier to sustain a consistent energy level without having caffeine at all. So in the morning I don't crave it. Of course, it took a while to get to that point. I had to get over that caffeine withdrawal, which was pretty brutal, but I did that, and it has been pretty significantly great not having to rely on caffeine to get going in the morning. But I've really noticed out here that my energy level is just as strong, if not stronger, later on in the day as it is in the beginning. So, and that's allowed me to do some bigger miles. I've been just hiking in the daylight. So when the sun comes up, I wake up, I get my stuff together and start hiking. And I'm usually hiking around 8 o'clock, and then I usually stop in the day around 5 or 6 o'clock and find a good place to camp or go to a shelter. So I've been staying in the shelters when there haven't been a lot of people, and just because I prefer not having so many people snore. But just being able to hike all day long and not have to rely on caffeine. It's just not so many super highs and super lows. It's more consistent energy. That's been working out pretty well for me. Another thing I want to mention, as I learn these things and as I see how it works for me and my body, I want to share them with you in hopes that you guys can give some of this stuff a try and see what works for you. And the second thing I've been noticing that's been pretty effective is eating calories consistently. Lately, or when I started hiking, and I've been out here for a little over 2 weeks now, I did not really eat lunch. I didn't stop for lunch. I didn't really have breakfast. I would pack a whole bunch of bars, like Belvita bars, or those Nature Valley protein bars, and I would snack on those throughout the day. I even have a Stinger waffle and some candy here and there. I like Twix. I haven't gotten any Snickers yet, but I'm more of a Twix eater. And so I just munch on that stuff all day, and then have a nice dinner, a warm dinner for dinner. And that's been fine, but I've noticed, well, today I stopped and had lunch. I had at the last resupply, which was in Gatlinburg, when I met with Warren, which we got to hang out for a day and a half. That was a lot of fun. Boy, he's a wealth of information. If you ever get the chance to pick that man's brain about the AT, that information is golden. So I had a great time relaxing, especially while it was so rainy out here in the Smokies. And now I got to enjoy 2 fantastically sunny, beautiful days out here in the Smokies since I took that 0 day. But to get back on to what I was trying to say is I ended up getting some peanut butter, Nutella, and tortillas to have as lunch while I'm out here. And boy, I've noticed, I had it today, and my mental clarity, my mental mood is higher. My energy level is great. More, of course, I'm not bonking so much, but the biggest thing that I've noticed is that I'm not having mentally not having so many lows. Missing home, missing my husband, missing my puppies. I seem to do that more and fall into that kind of low state when I'm low on calories. So just keep that in mind. You may want to stop for lunch, have something to eat that's more than just a bar or a Belvita cracker, although those are great snacks, and I love them. I still have them. I'll keep using those, but making it more of a priority to stop for lunch, especially when you have a big day of hiking. It seems to be a lot better. Yesterday I did 23.4 miles and got some great sleep last night, and today I feel good to go and completely fresh. My legs are good, and I think that's because, you know, not having so much caffeine, being able to sleep well, and incorporating some lunch. So I know, common sense stuff, but you may not think of that stuff out here. I really didn't. You know, I thought, well, I'm just gonna hike all day and have a good dinner at night, which was working for a while. But after being out here for 2 weeks and putting your body through some pretty good physical strain, then it seems to be a lot better to fuel it better and more properly. So that's what I've been doing. That's been working pretty well for me. I'll be getting out of the Smokies here in just a couple miles. I think I have like less than 5 miles to go, and I'll be out and onward. I have plenty of supplies to get to Laughing Heart Hostel, which is in Hot Springs. The trail goes literally right past that hostel, and that's a really nice hostel to stay at. I stayed there in 2018, and I'm looking forward to staying there again this year. So that will be my planned next stop, and things are going well. So that's the update. All right, I'll talk to you guys later.